Welcome back to the podcast, everybody, and welcome to day 10 of the Appalachian Trail Summer 2025. We are already rocking and rolling this morning. Got dropped off about a mile and a half back at the same point I got dropped off yesterday at Stony Brook Road, which is AT northbound mile marker 1,720. And we are back hiking north today. We are going to Vermont 12, which is northbound mile marker 1,733, which is going to make for a 13-mile day. And I've already knocked off about a mile and a half. And I started this morning at 7 a.m. Today is a bright, sunshiny day. It is supposed to get warmer later this afternoon, but when I started, it was a beautiful 55 degrees. So great morning. Wanted to go ahead and get the first climb out of the way. Today, we are looking at around 3,000 feet of ascent and 3,500 feet of descent, and which makes it a great day. So to knock out that first climb feels pretty darn good. And today's terrain overall doesn't look too bad. And I wanted to let y'all know, you guys probably know this already, I totally missed summer solstice. I thought summer solstice was always June 21st. But apparently this year, it was yesterday, June 20th. So totally missed summer solstice. Last night we were looking some things up in the van, and Stephanie was like, summer solstice was today. And I was like, what? I said, I'm sad. I didn't see anybody hiking naked. Because, you know, in the hiking world, summer solstice is hike naked day. Well, totally missed all that. But we are moving on. Day number 10. Feeling pretty good this morning. Had a good calories in me last night. Had a good dinner last night. Had a good breakfast this morning. And when I get done recording the first part of this, I'm going to munch on some of my snacks because I'm already hungry. So we are looking at a 13-mile day today. Yeah, I'm sure there's some highlights, but I didn't even look them up last night. I was so tired. I completely passed out. I think it was just after 8 o'clock. And I slept really good. And my body needed it. So we are moving and grooving. Oh, I know a highlight of today. When we end today, we are going to be going to the Vermont Route 12 trailhead, but we are going to be staying at the Wise Pines Hostel this evening. So I wanted to look up and share with you all. So they are allowing us to park our van there and utilize the services and pay a fee and all that good stuff. And it says, Wise Pines, a holistic and sustainable hiker-focused inn and hostel. Their accommodations are tree houses, private rooms, bunks. 30% discount on tree houses when you use the word happy hiker. Their amenities. I mean, this goes on and on. Yoga every day at 10 a.m. They pick up at the Vermont 12 trailhead at various times. They drop you off. They've got laundry. They'll do grocery stops. They're dog friendly. I mean, it's on and on. 40 acres with walking trails and a pond to sit by and enjoy. Well, that sounds good to me. It says, please make a reservation online. Their website, www.wisepines.com. Little to no phone service at the trailhead. And then they share their landline and email. And then they list multiple trail angels and their phone numbers, and they will come pick you up. And it looks like all these amazing services. Shuttles are available July and August. We're almost to July, folks. So we are going to be going there this evening. I am looking forward to that. And then most likely, I am going to be taking a day off tomorrow. My body is telling me after 10 days, and tomorrow is a Sunday, it seems to be a good day to take the day off, regroup, resupply, go to the grocery store, get more snacks, get more meals, all the things you have to do laundry, and kind of re-amp everything and get ready for the whites, because the whites are coming. So, y'all, I will be back and give you a check-in about midway through the day. All right, y'all. I am well over halfway through my day today. Headed downhill for the first time. Usually when I record, I'm headed uphill. But got one more little climb for the day. And the rest of the day is downhill. But that's never easy downhill. So I never get my hopes up. I just passed a place called The Lookout. And I'm going to read to you guys from far out. It says, the Lookout is located about 0.1 miles north of the AT on a rough dirt road. It isn't an official shelter, but it is privately owned cabin that is open to hikers for camping. The cabin can fit many people, but please respect all rules posted by the owners. Fires are not permitted. There's no water or privy at the cabin. A recently rebuilt ladder leads to a lookout on top of the cabin that has great views. So just past that point, I did go up there in 2014. It is a beautiful cabin. And if they redid the ladder, that's even great, because pretty much the ladder goes to the roof. But I opted not to go up there this time and continue on my hike. So let's back up a few and let me see if I can remember everything that has happened up to this point. Pretty much the trail has been a gradual up and then a little down, gradual ups, a little down. And I got down to, probably not going to be able to pronounce the name of this road. Let me see. Chateauguay Road, which is just like a little dirt road. I crossed the road there and I saw some trail maintainers. So they were out working on some down trees and had a nice little chat with them. Honestly, I don't even remember what we talked about. They were out, they were working on a section going north, trying to clear all the blowdowns. And then they were telling me they were going to start working on a section south, if not today, tomorrow. And I told them from where I started this morning to where I met them, I mean, there were probably 3 or 4 blowdowns, but they were not that big of a deal. And I don't know if up in this northern territory, if I'm just so used to like, okay, well, blowdowns are part of the trail, especially when you're walking on the long trail and the AT together. It's pretty rugged. I think when a tree falls, they just leave it. So you just kind of get used to it. So I told her it really wasn't that big of a deal. There was no obstacle I could not get around, and she was happy to hear that. And let's see, I saw a grouse. I think it was a grouse. So I was climbing up this little incline, and I heard a bunch of rustling in the green. It wasn't bushes, but just greenery on the side. And I heard, I don't even know, some kind of bird noise. And I said, oh my gosh. My first thought was a turkey is going to fly out in front of me on the trail, because I've had that happen before. But actually, it was a little grouse, and it came out on the trail kind of beside me, but then kind of went ahead of me. And it was a pretty good sized grouse. And it kind of just went back in the woods. So that was really cool. The only time I've ever seen grouse are on adventure shows that I watch on National Geographic. I've never actually seen one in the woods, so that was cool. And then after that, I've seen a couple little, what I'm going to call garden snakes. They were already on the move before I came up to them on the trail. And that is about it. Been major green tunnel today. I'm actually on a wider path right now. That is, I'm going to say, groomed for the standards of what we've been going through, but pretty nice overall. And I've got probably got 5.8 miles to go until I get down to Vermont 12. And y'all, Vermont 12 is an awesome place because it is the very first place I put footsteps on the Appalachian Trail in 2005. I was up here. Some friends of mine were running, I believe it was a marathon, and we just kind of made a weekend of it. And down in Woodstock, they give out these town maps. And I got one of the maps and I was looking at it. I said, y'all, the Appalachian Trail is not far from here. You all have got to take me to the trail. And they were like, probably didn't really care, but they were going to amuse me because they knew it was very important that I go out to the trail. And y'all, we got to the trail and I got so excited. We got out of the car and got on what I thought was the trail. It was like this cow pasture. There was a kiosk there. And I just started going up the cow pasture. And the very first time I put footsteps on the Appalachian Trail, I was going the wrong way. So the trail kind of went off to the right. And I was just so excited. I don't even think I cared. I was going straight up that cow pasture like it was no big deal. So I've got a picture of myself at this kiosk. And then I've got a picture of my feet on the footbridge. And y'all, I don't know what I was thinking, but I had on some kind of LL Bean sandals. Who knew? Who knows? I couldn't tell you why I bought those sandals or why I put them on that day, but I didn't care what was on my feet. I just was so glad to be on the Appalachian Trail. So that special place is coming up here in, I don't know, 5.5 miles or so. And there's a creek there. And I am going to sling off my shoes and put my feet in the creek and let them get nice and chilly. So I will come back to y'all here in a little bit and close out the episode and fill you in if anything else happens. I am back to close out the episode. I've got just under a couple miles until I am down to Vermont 12, and I am excited to get back down there and see where it all began again. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make a little video down there for you guys and put it out on YouTube, because tomorrow I am going to take the day off. So it seems like a really good point. 10 days in, right at 100 miles or just under 100 miles. And right there at Vermont 12. And then we'll have 3 or 4 more days. And then we are into the whites. So tomorrow is going to give me a chance to plan and kind of look at everything and lay in the bed, eat a lot of food, and watch YouTube and relax, get my feet elevated, and get ready for this next stretch. If all goes well for the whites, I would like to go hut to hut to hut, but we'll see how that goes and how all that works out, because I've always wanted to do that adventure regardless. So tomorrow is going to be, I'm going to be taking a day off, but I will put out that video so you guys can see Vermont 12, and I'll kind of walk you through the trailhead and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. And Yeah, you guys, just a couple seconds ago, I heard a rustling in the woods to the left of me, and I was like, man, holy cow, that sounds like, I don't know, a bear or a moose, because we're in moose territory. It was something big. And I look over, and all of a sudden I see this guy. He's got a bug net on, and he hollers out to me, "The shelter, you're almost to the shelter." And I said, okay. And I kept going, and I was like, what the heck? Maybe it's a geocaching thing, but he was definitely bushwhacking beside me, and kind of just kept going. And at one point I tried to look back and see if he actually got on the trail, but he hadn't. So I don't know, to each for their own. But yeah, so there must be some geocaching or something, because I can't think of one reason I would be over bushwhacking off the trail. Or maybe I caught him getting ready to use the restroom. Who knows? But he was fully clothed, even though I did miss Hike Naked Day yesterday. So anyway, all right, y'all, have lost my mind. Only a couple more miles to go down to Vermont 12. And before I forget, when we end today, it will be 448.2 miles to Katahdin. And the next stretch is going to be beautiful. All right, we'll be back soon. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there, and happy section hiking.